Welcome back to the channel. Guys, I hope you're having or have had a great weekend. Today we want to talk a little bit about the performance of the Pulsechain uh, Zen over the last month or so, and see how it stacks up, where we're at with this and such, right? So, interesting enough, we're looking at a site called the Pulsecoin List, which I think was a good idea. Post basically created the ecosystem, created what would appear to be their own version of Coin Market Cap, and that is one thing I do agree with within what projects should be doing and what the crypto space should be doing. We should never have let one platform determine for us and give validation to us, credibility for us to projects that where the site itself is centralized and the story and the narrative can be controlled about how a currency should be listed, what should be the requirements, the criteria, as such. And I don't think anybody in cryptocurrency should be able to make that decision. I think that's something the public should have access to all the information, all the cryptocurrencies, right, good or bad, and they make their decision based on that. Because it can get political real quick, as we got to see within the Post community. So that's one thing I support the Post community and Hex community on, right? Now the cultic behavior, the falling in love with one project or one coin despite performance, the the lack of research, uh, the idea of being gullible and naive. I find that ought to be very irresponsible. And so our motto on the education entertainment television show is never fall in love with one coin, right? With any coin, really. Now, the projects we seemingly align ourselves with, we do it based on fundamentals and based on research, lots of research, right? We don't do it because it's being hyped up. Because let me tell you something, I've been in crypto a long time now, and I've seen how fast a community can turn on a project and go out the door, and they could do it in record time. So don't rely on that. Don't rely on thinking that positive ideas about the Post community, Hex community will save you. It will not. But let's talk about the performance, right? Let's look at what we get out of the ecosystem out of the last 30 days, right? All right, here's a pretty cool looking site. It's called Crypto Bubbles. I haven't got the app yet. I've been taking a look at it. It's like a fun little site to maneuver. Let me grab Hex here right quick and Pulsex, and let's see what we get with its performance over the last 30 days. Look like it's a little bit green today. But if you go down here to the month and the year, right, this is where it tells the tale. Down 79% for the month, 75% for the year. Now, we have to start to ask ourselves at these points in time, uh, how much are we now giving in to hopium like ideas, right? Where's the actual performance at? And are we being, you know, uh, level headed thinkers here, right? With what's going on. I've heard many of the narratives. I've heard many thoughts and ideas about uh, where this project could possibly go in the future, what the community or Richard Hart could do. But I think there has to be a certain amount of realism into this as well. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time because I don't want the video to run long. You can subscribe to the channel, look at the history of some of the interesting points I've made about Hex and Pulsechain. For us, is not about attacking other projects. We want the best products to succeed and be accessible to us, right? But what we don't want is a few guys on the top who want to keep pushing the narrative, and they're the only benefactors, and everybody else get left behind, like many of you all who have basically been marketed to, and can quickly become or grasp a mirage or an illusion of what you care to see in cryptocurrency. It's happened to me. It's happened, so it does happen. But anyway, let's go into something else right quick, because I just want to contrast the performance of what you're seeing with the Pulse ecosystem. You're seeing PulseX. It's like down. It's like a, what is it? It's a sixth of the sacrifice rate it was, right? It's not even at sacrifice range, right? It's over 40% less than a second. Let that sink in for a minute. I don't think it's been any cryptocurrency in the history of what I term these ICO-like launches or blockchain launches. I don't think there's been anyone in history, historically, that's performed this bad right after a blockchain. The worst blockchains, they probably 2x or 3x or something, right? I'm not aware of any, and if you guys know of any, please leave them in the comment section so I can correct that, but I am unaware of any. And I don't know of any excuse that can fix that or make that make sense or anything like that. But anyway, let's talk about something a little bit more positive. All right, so now let's talk about something a little bit more positive, right? I want to do some comparisons here, and I want you guys to try to understand where I'm coming from here. So a lot of people on the channel ask, they say, why do you always bring up this Btcmyk project? Is this some type of project that is your coin? Is it, something where you're trying to push this or shield this to us, and it's yet another crap coin that we don't need and probably poor performance, etc. Probably not going to do what Pulse or Hex does or could do, right? We're clearly not doing. We're just floating on a narrative and fumes, no performance to back up what Pulse and Hex's community is supposedly can do. We're not getting any of that, but a lot of us are still hoping. We're living on hopium. But let's talk about the Hive blockchain for a minute, because I want to contrast this, and maybe I can get through to some of y'all. We'll see. So it talks about data up until about 2022 of the Hive blockchain. 2023 still going and such. So we're just going to cover what the stuff we do know for a fact. But the Hive blockchain is evolving continuously. It's fueled by multiple dApps, dApps well established or which are coming to the ecosystem, right? Currently, the user base reached 2,412,070 accounts in total, or 75,182 for 2022, right? This is up into the 2022 year, right? This is in line with a yearly moderate growth compared with 2020, while having an exceptional year in 2021 due to Splinterland's explosion in the blockchain gaming space. So for those of you who are not familiar, why I keep bringing up Bitcoin and YK and this the Hive blockchain ecosystem, a lot of you probably are familiar with the success of the Splinterlands game that had its genesis on the Hive blockchain, as that's its principal place of operation, and it does very well there. Has trades on several exchanges there, but what trades next to it is the project we talk about, Bitcoin and YK. Now, why is this significant, right? Not only can you see the great potential in the Hive blockchain, but it's significant because this, for all intent and purpose, is basically a free blockchain. These people are literally doing their transactions for free. An idea, right? Now, there are some technical things that go on that many of you who use Hive probably understand, but basically to the end user, it ends up being free to do the transactions. Imagine you can send anything anywhere in the world totally free, not going to be held up with Ethereum gas fees, Pulsechain gas fees, etc. And some people try to argue, oh, well, if you can do something like that, it's not really a blockchain. And I will remind them that not only is that an incorrect assumption, but I would remind them that what really garners to the effect of a blockchain is decentralization. And what we've seen, and whether you take a proof of work, or proof of stake, or you take something like Ethereum-based wallets, etc., what we're seeing is still a significant lack of decentralization. In fact, I don't have the data in front of me, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Hive blockchain is more decentralized than like 90% of these projects, right? And that is because the distribution rate, how control of the networks gets into the normal users' hands, etc. Right? So think about that. Bitcoin MYK is on here, but it is, we talk about it a lot too. And when we talk to the Zen community, Zen is a project I like, but you guys know I don't like the gas fees. Zen uses gas fees to substantiate its value, which I'm not for that. I think that's a bad way to do that, right? Now, when Zen trades on blockchains, when it's on blockchains that are what would be very low fee structure, then its true potential can kind of come out. So I'm for that. But for some reason, with the Zen project, it's something missing there where they aren't successful on the close to free chains because they rely so much on transaction fees to substantiate their value. But what if Zen could exist in a truly free blockchain in a sense, but be able to, so in other words, do all those things, but have growth potential and the ability to perform good, much like Splinterlands has done and many of the other projects on the Hive blockchain perform very well with free transactions, then the Zen community will have something significant. And that's what where Bitcoin MYK comes in. Bitcoin MYK is starting to level the playing field, right? It's basically, you're able to basically come on the platform and everybody becomes a miner, a mentor. The equipment is already provided for you. Doesn't cost you anything. Transactions are free, right? And the entire purpose is to create network effect, which we are beginning to do, right? People are asking about the prices. They're asking about how things are going with that. The project is up 1,000% in the last 30 days. You contrast that to Hex down 70% for the entire year, 79% for the month. Pulsechain, Pulsex is down over 40% of its SAC value, right? So everybody seems to be losing, and Bitcoin MYK seems to be the only project where people are actually really winning, because I looked at many of those other coins as well that perform poorly, right? And it does it by creating a level playing field, which is going to keep everybody interested in the project and coming in, right? So that's all very important to look at, right? So when the Zen community asks us and the Post community asks us, why do you keep talking about this cryptocurrency? It is because it is the answer to our prayers in a sense, right? The powerful applications on the Hive blockchain allow us to basically almost for free distribute the cryptocurrency to every user, right? So think about at the end of 2022, already 2.4 million users on the Hive blockchain. It's moving to be one of the biggest blockchains out there, right? As far as user base and active users, right? Hive, a fork from Steam, right? That's pretty much the same community as such. And so it does have legacy in the cryptocurrency space. Most people are familiar with it. Now, why Bitcoin MYK is so important is because the reason Hive is not a number one cryptocurrency, which I think it should be easily, but the reason it isn't is because much like what's happening to the Post community, probably will end up happening to the Zen community, is that this minority group of whales at the top, right? They kind of control the entire ecosystem. That's just the way cryptocurrency is. We've been trying to eliminate that type of control that centralizes the blockchain for a long time now. And we finally done it with Bitcoin MYK. And because it's on Hive blockchain, the benefits to the Hive blockchain will be significant, meaning the things that kept Hive from being in a top 10 cryptocurrency go away with the Bitcoin-MYK project. It eliminates will, influence, and control over the network. And that's why some people on Hive have tried to gatekeep Bitcoin-MYK. But the way their system's set up, they're not going to be able to do it, right? So that's what I like about the Hive blockchain. It does allow for you to basically right the wrongs in the blockchain. And these 2.4 million users are more likely going to be part of Bitcoin-MYK network as it expands to bring into the fold many of you all out there who are watching, because I don't think you all understand the power of a free currency that can transmit across the globe, right, and have the type of value the Hive blockchain has. I don't think you all, you don't really get it. You're too much stuck in a gambling culture of cryptocurrency, a hopium culture, a wishful culture without function. And because you don't understand function, what's happening is you're going from coin to coin, and you're basically crashing and burning. Well, most of them, as we just saw in crypto bubbles, right? So this tool you're looking at, the powerful tools, is going to allow us to get the cryptocurrency in all you guys' hands. All you need is a Hive wallet. It's going to allow us to do it quite easily, almost free, right? And millions of people are going to be able to participate in this network. Millions of people are going to be able to be miners at no cost. So mining is going to be fair. Geography is going to be fair. Wealth is going to be fair, right? Development is going to be fair. Exchanges, the tribal decks and the Hive engine exchanges, there's going to be fairness in how it operates because of our tremendous dedication to the distribution tools. We believe that we're going to achieve the best distribution rate in all of cryptocurrency, right? So very fascinating things that are happening with us. All right, so let's quickly talk about the price of Bitcoin-MYK. I don't like to discuss the price. It's a free cryptocurrency, but we're just going to report on some of the data on exchanges, right? We'll just tell you what it says. So this is interesting because it's showing that the current price of Bitcoin-MYK is 0.00378, right? Interesting enough, about 30 days ago, that had 4 zeros and a 2. That means that Bitcoin-MYK went up over 1,000% 30 days ago. Now, interesting enough, it hasn't come down, right? Whereas we've seen many of these other cryptocurrencies, and that has a lot to do with the tokenomics, I think, of the project, where the videos already went too long. We can't get into detail about it. We ask you to subscribe to the channel. Look at some of those old videos, and it'll start to come together for you, right? But it seems to be one of the only projects, as far as I can see, that's doing the things that we were hoping like Pulse would do, Zen would do, Hex would do. It seems to be one of the only projects doing that, right? And we believe it's because of the things we set forth in the video, right? The free transactions, the network effect it's achieving, the tools that allow us to get these cryptocurrencies to millions of people where they can cross-border transact, where mining is not only accessible to everybody, you don't have to have any technical skills. Not only is it accessible to you all, free to you all, right? The transactions themselves are pretty much free because your accounts, every 24 hours, they replenish themselves. And so if you don't have any money for transactions, don't worry, you're going to have it within 24 hours either way. So that's just phenomenal. And this is what we need in cryptocurrency. Again, the reason that Hive didn't achieve that as of yet, as we try to relate this to the Hive community, is because they've certain misunderstandings and how, and how they saw Hive and its strong points. But I think what we're showing them with projects like Bitcoin-MYK is that there's a way to do this and create economic prosperity for everybody, right? That's the type of projects people are going to want to be involved in. But that's all I want to say in this video, guys. Tell me what you guys and thoughts are on the performance of Pulse and Zen and all these. Are they giving you the results like Bitcoin-MYK is? Because if they're not, maybe you need to try Bitcoin-MYK. I'm just saying. But that's all I want to say in this video. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.